That was where our first role was, 1985, Invasion USA, Chuck Norris. We played a terrorist, and we shot in the lobby of Georgia Pacific as overnight shoot. Got assigned automatic weapons. Back then, you just give your driver's license. They go, here's your M16 with blanks. Now sit over there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, late night, there was tanks all over Peachtree, and we invaded the Georgia Pacific building, shooting the place up. 1985.
So what was that like? Well, what got you to that place? Because that seems like a big jump from wanting to do a thing to now you're doing the thing.
Well, that was just a fluke. We signed up. They needed some people. It was an uncredited role, but we had a lot of fun. I worked the lights in theater in high school, and I'd be on the catwalk going, those people are horrible. But I wanted to act, but they weren't ready to see an Asian in tights in Shakespeare in small town Asheville. So I thought I'd wait till I get to a larger city, Atlanta,
Yeah.
and take some classes to see if I like it and see if I got what it takes. And I enjoyed it, and I went into a 2-year program over there and took as many courses, and then moved thinking, okay, it's time to go to LA.
Yeah.
Me and that fellow, Pete, friend of mine, me, one other guy, Alan, 3 of us got in our cars, separate cars, went to Radio Shack, got the headset that had line of sight where you can communicate.
Yeah.
Pre-cell phone, of course. And we moved to Los Angeles to see if we could make it. It didn't last long for various reasons. Alan's VW 67 Beetle died on the way there in Phoenix, so we left him there. Pete and I continued, got a place in Koreatown there off of Wilshire Boulevard, a little efficiency.
Yeah.
It's pretty dangerous there. You have to lay down suppressing fire to get to the front. And then Pete got homesick and wanted to come back to Atlanta. I go, what about our pinky promise of,
Yeah.
trying to make it? So I was left by myself, going through my savings, didn't have a job, didn't know anybody. My former roommates here were saying, hey, this guy who's subletting your room, we don't like him. You need to do something. I go, you know what? Maybe timing's off. I'll come back. And so I worked this market, 86 until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same agent.
So what made you, where was the point where you said, and it sounds like in high school, you kind of made the decision, but what was the inflection point where you went, yeah, I actually want to do this in a serious capacity? I didn't want to do it as a professional. This is like, not just something I'm going to do in high school, but this is something that has value in my life.
Well, in high school, I was just saying, I think I could do it. But it's when I was at the Alliance Theater that I go, I can see doing this for a long time. I really enjoyed it. I was decent at it. And I thought, what occupation can you make use of being able to do a lot of things good? Not great, but good enough, passable enough. And that's acting, because you're called to do all kinds of things. And the more variety of things you can do that you have in your resume, you can market yourself a little more completely.
Did you ever go through periods of stage fright?
Yeah, I still do. Still do. Maybe it's not fright at this point. It's just the excitement. Yeah, you get a little nervous, dry throat, sweaty palms. But for me now, after all these years, it's more excitement and worry about, don't mess it up. You got to do your best work. Don't get this in the way.
So,
Yeah.
So when you're first starting out, what do you do to prevent that from getting in the way?
Well, I took a good number of improv classes where you try not to think too much. You listen, active listening, or reacting. And that gets you out of your head.
Would that be the best course of action?
Well, there's a lot of different things too. Breathing exercises
Yeah.
and being confidently off book, meaning you're rehearsed, you're got your script memorized, because that gets in the way of your potential of tapping into your best performance.
So then, how do you even know? When you have it memorized, what gives you the confidence, whatever, to go off script, to ad lib?
Well, it depends on the project how much you can ad lib.
Okay.
Usually,
Based on the director?
director, writer, director. Yeah. If the writer is the director, then they're putting those words in for a reason. There's nothing superfluous. So you want to make sure you hit it the way they wrote it. And
is there a freedom in speaking someone else's words that you don't feel an emotional connection to those words, so that if the words are garbage, you don't have to take ownership maybe in the same way as if you were the one that invented the words?
True. There's a lot of times where I go, that's weird phrasing. I'd never say it that way. I'm not feeling it, but I'm not going to change it unless I get permission. Sometimes you can just say, hey, can I say it this way? I'm having a hard time feeling it to where I'm delivering it naturally. If they say no, then I got to find a way in my mind to what is the meaning? What is the intent of this phraseology?
Yeah, it's funny is because in hearing the way you're positioning that, I mean, we've been friends for a long time, and you are really good at knowing how to make suggestions that don't impinge upon another person's ego, which I'm going to guess that's probably what has to happen because if a writer feels like, oh, if they read it as in their soft, then they might just not want to change it just because they don't want to change it.
Right. Yeah, I guess you got to feel the situation out.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be so, bullish about it. If they say, well, I'm not really, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll work through it. And it's so rare that it's usually corporate stuff, because they're not writing for emotion. I mean, they're just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
So they'd have no issue if I try to make it more conversational, because that's what it's about, not just droning on. I find it challenging to make a dry corporate script more engaging. How am I going to make it sexy?
So what's the key? So let's jump forward, because the corporate scripts. So when did you start doing corporate? And I'm going to guess corporate is different than doing like indie or big budget movies. There's another category called corporate, or maybe there's more than one category. And the corporate would be like what? How's that defined generally?
Corporate industrial films, it's not a wide distribution. It's technical, usually, in nature. Companies are the ones producing it. And the writers are technical writers, and they're not used to writing scripts, really. So it's going to be super dry. So again, like I said, I find it challenging. Some people don't like to do it. They say, no, there's too much to memorize. But what a great exercise. It exercises your memory, and it exercises your performance skills to make it engaging. Put in some nuances of, especially the role plays.
Yeah.
Hello, Jane. Good morning. You find ways to connect and make it real. Do some quirky things that make it like an Easter egg. Like, why was he looking like that over? But why did he touch that piece of machinery that way? It's like he was caressing the knob.
So you're looking for extra ways to add fun, flavor, interest,
to pull that attention.
Yeah.
They're waning because of the verbiage. I want to make sure they're still focused somehow.
They're locked in because they're seeing more than they're seeing.
Correct.
You're telling them more.
Yeah, you might.
Is this ad-libbed, like in the moment you're doing it?
Well, yeah, with your body language,
Yeah.
your physicality.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much in what you're saying because you want to get the information they want, but maybe you deliver it a certain way. Your inflection is not expected to be there, or excitement or a sadness. Try to put a little emotion into it so it's not so robotic as the words might convey. Just monotone, no. I feel like Christopher Walken doesn't go by the grammatical punctuations.
How does he do it?
Engaging.
Yeah, which
He takes out all the punctuations when he looks at script, from what I hear.
So you mentioned about memorizing. What would be, what's the secret? I have a bad memory. What's your secret for learning a script, for memorizing a script?
It depends. It differs, for people. But I've looked at different methodologies and what works for me. I always try to repetition. You look at it numerous times, depending on how much time you have. Right? Like for a play, you got sometimes you just say it out loud over and over and over. You don't put any emotion into it, just the words.
Yeah.
So it's rolling off the tongue, not just your words, your character's words, everybody's. So you do that as many times as you are able.